Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1971. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. So let's listen in on what was going on in regards to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith when they were talking divorce and separation.
Will Smith got to our cover story. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith got candid on Red Table Talk, confirming that Jada had a relationship with another man when the duo was separated. Take a look. One of Hollywood's most beloved couples, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, addressing together a shocking chapter of their marriage.
So that's what we're going to start with. This is a very personal journey.
Yeah.
That became very public.
In this episode of Red Table Talk, a series hosted by Pinkett Smith, known for its candid conversations, she let her husband ask the tough questions.
So what happened, Jada?
Following weeks of speculation, the superstars confirming that while the two were briefly separated, Jada entered a relationship with singer August Alsina.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship.
The 51-year-old actor opening up about the extramarital romance.
I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
When couples get to the point where they are done with their marriage, the way Will and Jada were with theirs, and they come back together, the key thing is to work on recreating that connection. That connection is the key to any marriage.
The Smiths have long been considered an unshakable couple, expressing their love and devotion consistently throughout the years. The two stars reflecting on their journey as a couple.
There's a real power in just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't know that
Until you go
through some stuff.
The fact that Will and Jada could talk about what they went through publicly really just shows how solid their marriage is.
And emphasizing the love they have is still strong, despite Jada's relationship during their marriage.
We have really gotten to that new place of unconditional love.
And according to Jada, her relationship with August began when he was having a lot of health problems, and she wanted to heal him, and she herself felt broken, and she says, quote, wanted to feel good. At the time, both Will and Jada say they thought their marriage was totally over. August even claimed he had, quote, permission from Will to date Jada, which Jada emphatically corrects that she is the only person who can give permission for her to be in a relationship. But what a candid conversation and real honesty about their marriage.
I think they're doing a service to couples everywhere to understand that you can hit rocky shoals and recover.
Mm-hmm. It's not an easy process.
No, it is not.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts.
So now we know they've been separated for almost 7 years. It could be longer. Check out some of the pages. When she was on Hawthorne, were they really together and separated? Have they been separated for many, many years? There's been so many speculations in regards to them dating other people. Well wishes. Many people are surprised. Many people are saying Jada just does not need to talk. Many people are like, okay, why did the altercation happen in regards to Will going on stage? Then Jada saying that she thought it was a skit. Then asking him later on, are you okay? It's all interesting to where is, as soon as Will got up, I'm surprised security didn't get up or get up there. And then also Jada's trying to throw Chris Rock in there while he's trying to ask her out. What difference does that make? The book should literally just be about Will, Jada, how it happened, what caused the whole separation. Many people are just like, why didn't y'all say that at the red table years ago that we've been separated? Why not say that? So was the red table real? The conversations, were they real? If you're withholding information for 7 years, what else are you withholding, Jada Will? If you're withholding information for 7 years and you're on the red carpets acting like everything is fine, what else are you withholding? What does Tisha Campbell and her ex-husband has to do with it? What does the one model have to do with it? What does when him traveling the world has to do with it? They've been, why not come out and say it? I told y'all, industry optics. The mom really wanted them to get married, and they did. The mom really wanted them to be together, and they were. Allegedly, Will and Jada said they never wanted to get married. They got married because the mom made them get married. What? Let me see if I can find something else. Let's see. I'm just curious to find the one where, yeah, that was it.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy.
Are Will and Jada heading towards an ugly divorce? After the Oscars slap, there's been a lot of talk in the media about Will and Jada's marriage, and fans have accused Jada of manipulating and controlling Will. Many fans have also urged Will to leave Jada, and they think the only thing that can save Will's reputation now is getting as far away from Jada as possible. Well, Will may just end up taking his fans' advice, because sources close to Will and Jada are now saying the Oscars controversy was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the Smiths may be at the end of their 25-year marriage. Even before the whole slap situation, fans have been wondering for years why Will and Jada insist on staying married when they're clearly not happy together. Remember when Will and Jada discussed Jada's entanglement with August Alsina on Red Table Talk, and they said this?
We ride together,
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
What was that? As Charlemagne the God pointed out, Will and Jada basically said that no matter how your partner treats you and how miserable you are, you should just stay together.
We ride together, die together, bad marriage for life. What was that? Well, what kind of message was that sending? Just stick together for the sake of being together? Don't try to make your marriage healthy. Don't try to get to a place of wholeness in your marriage.
And this wasn't the only time Will and Jada publicly admitted that they weren't happy in their marriage. Back in 2015, the same year Jada met August Alsina, Will talked about his relationship with Jada at the LA premiere of his movie Concussion, and he described his marriage as the most difficult and painful thing he's done in his life.
Our marriage was the most difficult, grueling, and excruciating thing that we've ever taken on in our lives.
I mean, sure, everyone knows marriage is hard work.
So who says that? I didn't know he had said that. Did y'all? This is interesting to find out Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, felt this way, had the conversation in regards to the thoughts and feelings. If it was that sad and grueling, optics, industry optics, that's the only thing I can think of. Why do it for that long? And then what are you teaching your kids? What are you teaching your kids about relationships and healthy relationships? I don't think Jaden has been spotted in a healthy relationship. I don't think we've seen Jaden at all. Willow, she had a relationship and they were in a glass box. People were able to see them just live in a box. And I don't know how long that went on, but that was interesting. Cut the hair, whip the hair. I'd say Willow's probably, they're both doing great. Now, mind you, Jaden has helped Flint in regards to water. He has his water brand. He helps feed the homeless. Their children are actually pretty well-rounded. It's just we don't really see them in relationships. And is this why?
But don't you think calling it grueling and excruciating is a red flag? Will also added that he and Jada are not quitters and that they'll keep on working on themselves individually.
You know, we're just not quitters, and by the same token, we're not apathetic. So we're not going to sit there and let it, be painful. We're going to keep working.
Well, we know how Jada worked on herself.
I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. And then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely.
But what about Will? Well, in his September 2021 interview with GQ, Will actually claimed that Jada wasn't the only one having entanglements. Will explained that most people.
So we're about to get into what Will was doing, what he had going on, because many people thought and was saying what's going on. And why does she talk about Will that way? Some people are saying Will Jada's humiliating Will again. But do they both humiliate each other? Look at that interview he just had. How horrible. The struggle is real. The struggle's real.
People walked away from watching that Red Table Talk interview thinking Jada was the only one engaging in other sexual relationships, when that was not the case. Will also gave GQ a draft of his memoir, Will, in which he talked about his early marriage years and revealed he and Jada butted heads from the very start. In one part of his memoir, Will talked about how Jada never wanted a traditional marriage ceremony, but she gave in to his pressure. This would be the first of many compromises Jada would make over the years that painfully negated her own values, Will wrote. He then went on to admit that he pressured Jada to move into a huge 256-acre compound that she hated. Nothing good comes from spending your hard-earned money on a family home that your wife doesn't want, Will wrote. You are putting a down payment on discord, and for years you will be paying off a mortgage of misery, or worse. But Will still went on and made that down payment, and
That's crazy. It doesn't seem like they're focused on the happiness, the blessing. It doesn't seem like they're focused on anything good. He marries you, he provides for you, he keeps a roof over your head. You're putting a down payment on misery? That's crazy. But then you're going to be with a young man that can't offer you anything? I mean, he didn't. You're complaining about the blessing? You're complaining about a man having a roof over your head? Why stay in it? What are you teaching your kids, your friends, your family? What in the world? The industry is, and mind you, don't get me wrong, Will had said that he does not plan to get divorced again. Jada, we're in it. You're going to be on one side of the house, I'm going to be on the other, but we're in it. Huh? Open relationships, don't know. Healthy relationships, the industry has talked about them for years. For years. And all the allegations in regards to Jada and Mark Anthony and the Hawthorne situation, and how Mark Anthony and J-Lo got divorced, and how Will and, how the show got canceled. That was all hot and steamy. Let's continue.
And as for Jada, Will said she would wake up many mornings in tears. And then, after Jada turned 40, the tension between her and Will reached a boiling point. According to Will, he spent 3 years planning a surprise dinner with friends and family where he wanted to screen a documentary that chronicled Jada's life and traced her family's lineage back to slavery. But when Jada found out what he did, she flew into a fit of rage and told Will that his plan was the most disgusting display of ego she has ever seen in her life. That night, Will and Jada had an explosive fight that got so loud that their daughter Willow, who was 10 at the time, emerged crying with her hands over her ears, begging them to stop. Our marriage wasn't working, Will wrote in the memoir draft he gave to GQ. We could no longer pretend. We were both miserable, and clearly something had to change. But according to GQ, at this point, the manuscript ended suddenly, and Will didn't explain exactly what he meant by something had to change. And then finally, when GQ pressed Will for an answer and asked him if this change meant dating other people, Will admitted that at one point his marriage to Jada stopped being monogamous. He then went on to claim that Jada never believed in conventional marriage because she grew up in a family where many people had unconventional relationships. Will explained that he and Jada chose monogamy without considering that maybe monogamy is not, as he put it, relational perfection. We have given each other trust and freedom with the belief that everybody has to find their own way, Will said, and marriage for us can't be a prison. He then said that although he doesn't suggest his road for anybody, open marriage for him is the highest definition of love.
So he had to give her open marriage for her to be happy. And that's why he would say, Jada, I'm not going to try and make you happy anymore. Could you imagine a man being on a spinning wheel trying to make his wife happy for years and years? And then when it said something had to change, we know what had to change. He moved out and she found a little peace. Not healthy.
Jada also publicly admitted that she never wanted to get married and felt pressured by her mom to go through with the wedding because she was already pregnant with Jaden.
I was like, I don't want to get married, and now Gammy done gone to Will crying about I don't want to have a wedding, and now I'm being forced to have a wedding.
And another reason why Jada has always appeared resentful of Will could be because she believed she had to put her own career on the back burner for the sake of her family. Jada used to be the frontwoman of the new metal band Wicked Wisdom, and back in 2011, she told Redbook magazine that she turned down an opportunity for her band to open for Guns N' Roses just so that Will and Jaden could continue shooting The Pursuit of Happiness. I had to make choices, Jada said, but I have children with their own talents and dreams, and I know I have to be standing next to them for that journey. It was excruciating. When Jaden was auditioning for The Pursuit of Happiness, my band had just gotten an offer to open for Guns N' Roses in Europe. And in the light of this whole Oscar slap controversy, many fans and some celebs like Benzino have speculated that Jada's always trying to sabotage Will because she's jealous of his success.
Maybe she's looking at Will as so successful and so big, and maybe I think that's where she wants to be. It's in that realm of watching him be huge, major, and she's, before they got together, she was pretty big.
Many fans agreed with Benzino and said it definitely seems like Jada just can't stand to see Will happy and enjoying his success. She doesn't want to be known as, or regress to, just Will's wife, one fan said. She wants to be in the spotlight.
And the biggest thing is, she still could have opened for Guns N' Roses. They have Gammy. Gammy was married. They could have took on the kids or the one child. Don't tell me when you are, your family don't have to take a back seat when you're that rich. That's what nannies and assistants are for. Don't play with me. She acting like she couldn't take a gig because Will, and if Will had the son and they were working on The Pursuit of Happiness, why couldn't your little happy butt go on your way while he had the child? I just thought about that. Will had the child. She still could have did her own thing. I think that it's a dangerous thing when you blame somebody for your situationships and you don't follow your dreams. So are you telling me you're always supposed to make sure Will and Jaden was okay? You got pregnant, you weren't happy. You got married, you weren't happy. No, she still could have did the things with Guns N' Roses. She still could have did it. As they're doing their thing, you could do your thing. I don't like it, y'all.
Like, call it what it is. Jealousy. And another person commented, Jada is jealous of her husband. She resents his superstardom and his success. That's why she continues to publicly humiliate and emasculate him. When she stayed in her seat while her husband sabotaged the biggest night of his career, I knew that she did not love or respect her husband. He's been sleeping with the enemy this whole time. And if you think about it, it really does seem like Jada's now enjoying all the attention. Yes, it's negative attention, but it doesn't look like she's bothered one bit by people calling her out. On Saturday, April 9th, Jada made her first public appearance after the Oscars slap at the grand opening of the Shonda Rhimes Performing Arts Center in Los Angeles, and many fans pointed out how she looked very happy to be in the spotlight. All about her again, one fan said. A narcissist's dream, publicity. And another person added, she has the Red Table Show where they discuss very personal, private things. When you air out your dirty laundry is out there forever. Puts things into context when you see the videos, given what happened. Jada is selfish, manipulative, self-centered. And even if you think Jada didn't do anything wrong, it's obvious at this point that neither she nor Will are happy being married to each other. So why don't they just get a divorce? Their children are in their 20s, and they'll both have more than enough money if they split their assets. So why do they insist on staying married? Well, it looks like Will and Jada are now finally rethinking that whole bad marriage for life thing. One insider who recently spoke to Heat magazine.
So now they're talking about they've been separated for 7 years. So just go ahead and get a divorce. Industry optics.
said that the Oscars slap controversy could be the final nail in the coffin for the Smiths' marriage. Ever since the Oscars scandal, tensions between them have been palpable, the source explained. There have been problems for years, but they're barely speaking right now. The insider also shared that if Will and Jada go through with the divorce, under California law, Jada would be entitled to half Will's $350 million fortune. It could be one of the ugliest divorces in showbiz history and drag on longer than Angelina's and Brad's did, the source said, adding that Will obviously doesn't want that, but there is only so much he can take. As for fans' reactions, it seems the majority of them are rooting for this divorce, and they're saying both Will and Jada would be much happier living separate lives. One fan tweeted, "Will and Jada just need to get a divorce already. Damn." And another fan said, "On the omnipresent subject of Will and Jada, I don't understand the whole open marriage thing. If I wanted to sleep with other people, I'd just get a divorce and be single again." But believe it or not, some fans are saying Will and Jada's open marriage is inspiring. The older I get, the more attractive marital arrangements make sense to me. I don't believe in divorce, but I do believe in honesty and respect. Hence why I understand Will and Jada. They have reached unconventional levels of love, and it triggers the insecurity in others. Well, there you have it. At this point, it looks like this whole Will and Jada drama will never end. But until the next update, make sure you check out this next video because the tea is hot.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. Have a great day. We played a few different videos to get history on what was going on, and I think that was from This Happened. So, well wishes. Jada and Will, they need to be separated. They need to be divorced, but they probably won't because she'll get half of his fortune, and I don't think he wants to do that. Well wishes.